Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be making an American classic, and it is chocolate chip cookies. Now, if you are a chocolate chip cookie lover like I am, you know there are thousands of varieties of chocolate chip cookies, thousands of recipes, but in general there are kind of characteristics that some people like. Some people like a chewy cookie, some people like a crumbly cookie, some people like a crisp cookie, some people like big cookies, some people like small cookies, all different kinds of chocolate chip cookies. Today I'm going to be making a particular style, and it is this one. And these are Tate's Bakery's chocolate chip cookies. You can just buy these at the supermarket, and this style of cookie is very buttery and crispy and thin and hugely popular. I actually had these for the first time not too long ago. We were on a road trip and I picked them up at the store, and my sons really enjoyed them, and I did too. I was kind of surprised because generally speaking, I like my chocolate chip cookies on the kind of chewy side. Not necessarily soft and cake-like, but I like a nice chew, but a crispness on the edge of my cookies. Now, the recipe I'm going to be testing today comes from the legendary Stella Parks. She wrote this book, Bravetart, which is amazing. If you are not familiar with this book, you should definitely check it out. So what I really love about Stella and her recipes is that she really knows how to break it down. She knows what characteristics and what portions create what flavor profiles, what kinds of textures and flavors. I love that. And she does not disappoint. Does her own take on classic American brands, including Oreos, Fig Newtons, Animal Crackers, Thin Mints. I have to try that one. This is the next one I want to try, is the McDonald's style apple turnover, the apple pies from McDonald's. Do you remember McDonald's apple pie back when they deep fry them? I only had it once, and once was enough. They're absolutely incredible. In terms of a pie that comes close, I would have to say it would be the Jollibee peach mango pie, which is just extraordinary in its own right. Completely different flavor profile, but the whole deep fried fritter thing, they've got that. Candy bars, including Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Crunch Bars, Snickers bars, and she even has a whole section on tempering. Yeah, if you didn't see my video where I make my own chocolate bar and I talk about tempering, yeah, I'll put that link up above and down below. That was probably the most epic recipe that I've ever attempted to make, and I took a cocoa pod and I made it into a chocolate bar. And boy howdy did I learn a lot. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and make ourselves some chocolate chip cookies. We're going to begin with preheating our oven to 350 degrees, place the rack right in the stinking middle, and then in the bowl of our food processor, we're going to start to combine our dry ingredients. We're going to add our flour, our brown sugar, and our raw cane sugar. So Stella says it's very important to use the right type of sugar in this recipe. You must use light brown sugar. Dark brown sugar will be too dark, too much molasses, and you need to use raw cane sugar. Raw cane sugar is also known as turbinado sugar, and it too contains a little bit of molasses. So that's really important to get that kind of caramelly flavor that's found in these cookies. Then you're gonna add your salt, your baking soda, and then you're gonna pulse this until everything is well combined. Next, we're going to add our cold butter, which we've cut up into little tablespoon portions, and pulse this until the butter is chopped up into kind of a dry, crumbly crumb. No big chunks, nice and even. And then we're going to add our chocolate chips and just give this a couple pulses to kind of break the chips up a little bit. So Stella also says that you can store this mixture, it can be your chocolate chip cookie mix, in an airtight container, or you can go ahead and make cookies, which is what I'm gonna do. So dump this into a large bowl. So add 1 cold egg and your vanilla. Mix this with a spoon. It's gonna seem very dry, but it will come together. Next, you're gonna take your impeccably clean hands and work all of the wet ingredients into the dry, and magically, it becomes a dough. You're gonna take a half-sheet pan. So instead of a silicone liner, we're going to use a piece of parchment paper. Use a 1 tablespoon ice cream scoop, or in my case, just a tablespoon, and dole out 12 balls of cookie dough. And then we're gonna place this in the oven for 15 to 16 minutes until the cookies look nice and golden and crisp. and then allow them to cool to room temperature before you do anything. Don't move them because the cookies are going to be really soft and delicate. So here are my cookies. I baked them up and I did not leave enough space between them. As you see, I have little snowmen and I used a little paring knife and I cut them apart. When you make yours, give them more room so they can spread and grow. Anyways, they look pretty stinking amazing, nice and uniform in size, and they look beautiful. Alrighty, let's give them a taste. I want this one. This one looks perfect. Let's do a little side-by-side comparison. Let's open up the Tate's and see what these are like. There's two packages like this. When I scoop these out onto the tray, I'm like, whoa, those are gonna be small cookies. But now I see it, Stella. I see the light. These cookies are pretty small. Tate's versus homemade. Alrighty, so this is pretty exciting because Stella's cookie looks a lot like Tate's cookie. And in terms of thinness, girl, she nailed it. The color is a little bit different, but that could be simply because of my baking. These are a little bit more golden on the outside. This is the homemade, while the store-bought are just a little bit more even. The homemade one definitely smells more buttery, while the store-bought one smells more kind of artificial and vanilla-ed. And in terms of number of chocolate chips, I would say homemade has more chocolate chips than store-bought. Although, let's make sure by looking at other examples. Actually, I would say the ratio is actually pretty similar. All right, enough with the physical characteristics. Let's go ahead and eat some cookies. Let's try OG first. Here we go, Tate's. That's a pretty great cookie. Very sweet, nice hunks of chocolate in there, very thin and crisp. I actually like that texture. Buttery flavor is present, not overly strong, but delicious chocolate chip cookie. All right, so let's compare that with the homemade version. And because I forgot to say itadakimasu, itadakimasu. Yeah, I like Stella's version better. The homemade version has a very clear, pronounced flavor of rich, fresh butter. And the chocolate chips taste better and they're bigger. And it seems like the chocolate is better quality as well. There's more bitterness to the chocolate chip, which goes better to me with the very sweet cookie base, which actually has a good amount of salt in there as well, which again goes really well with the chocolate. Let me try the Tate's again. Besides flavor, I also like the texture of the homemade one better too. There's a slight chewiness, particularly in the middle of the cookie, along with that really crisp outside. Another difference is the crumb texture of the store-bought is a little bit finer. In terms of choosing a winner, Stella's wins by a landslide. Really great, wonderful, buttery, fresh chocolate chip cookie flavor, as opposed to store-bought cookie, which tastes like a store-bought cookie, but a very good one. The homemade version does a great job in capturing that signature thin, crisp cookie style, and it does much better in terms of capturing the essence to me in a beautifully made chocolate chip cookie. Granted, it is a bit unfair to compare homemade versus store-bought in the sense that store-bought cookies are designed to have a very long shelf life. Although Stella says these will last 6 weeks in an airtight container. 6 weeks. That alone should convince you to make these cookies. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Mm-hmm.